Okay, hello everybody, this is Kira Show here. Hello. When we last left off, we had just got done with the sports festival. And I believe I said that we had Bakugo, Deku, Jiro, and Todoroki at Endeavor's agency. Now, let us begin. Endeavor is asking basically what is the difference between these two boys' quirks. Because as far as he knows, they're the exact same. Because apparently these two essentially know more than they let on. Bakugo's saying that the difference is, I can directly create explosions. He needs to use a support item to actually cause them in his hands. Deku would just explain this, as he actually brings his fingers up saying if he were to do this, anything he touches could explode. But the gloves basically prevent that, as a small explosion would actually start popping off in his hand. Now, as he's explaining this, Endeavor is saying that is fine, but then what's up with her? She would just hand him a slip of paper, saying that after the sports festival, she kinda messed up her voice with that glass shattering scream. So, it's gonna be out of commission. Now, basically, Endeavor would just say that that's fine, but he wants him, as he would point to Bakugo, to fight against Todoroki. Since he apparently won against his own, well, essentially against Deku, saying that the other two can do whatever they want. He doesn't care. But they will be going on patrol later. Deku would just look at him, thinking, this motherfucker really thinks we're not here, does he? Jill would just look at him, and she would just pull out a slip of paper writing down, he's an asshole. Deku would just say, I agree. Bakugo and Todoroki would actually fight against each other, allowing Bakugo to try out his new mode. I'm not really sure what to call this, so I'm just going to call it his burst mode. Well, Deku actually tries to get a hang of his own new mode, which is essentially the same as Bakugo's. Now, Deku is essentially trying to move it up past his arms, but he can't get anywhere above his waist, and he finds this to be a bit confusing. As he keeps thinking, he struggles, as he finally gets explosions to start popping up above his waistline, actually getting them around his arms and somewhat around his neck. But he starts having them pop into his face, which kind of just pisses him off. So he finds a way to just dull it down a bit. But realizing that if he were to use these in combat, he might have to change up his costume to be a bit more fireproof. Basically what I mean by that is, the entire costume that he wears, it's entirely fireproof, but it's just got some of the material like around the elbows and the kneecaps, they're less fireproof so that they're easier to bend and move. In fact, that's one of the reasons why the outfit is very good for him, because it's essentially working off his agility and not his strength. But the outfit for Bakugo is essentially the opposite. Now, this is whenever Deku would actually ask Jiro, since she can't really plug in anything, he has an idea. Well, since she can't really plug her into herself right now, how about you just try plugging in your arms and turning up the sound waves? I remember against the Noma you kept doing this, making this one weird thing. So I'm pretty sure if you try turning it up, you might actually be able to do something else. Jiro actually thinks about this, and she finds it to be a bit weird. But she's just thinking, okay, so what does he mean? Do I just do something else, like break through another wall easier, or whatever? As she actually plugs in and immediately starts cranking up and amping up sound. She actually goes more towards tuning it, and whenever she reaches a certain frequency and she's actually hitting the wall with it, the wall immediately just starts shooting off dust where she hit it. Now, this is basically a theory on vibration. What that basically means is everything vibrates at a certain frequency. This is actually from The Flash. If you were to essentially find where things vibrate at, you can essentially destroy them and or rip them apart at the atomic level. Basically meaning, you can turn it into dust. So she actually finds that she did it, but she would be really happy and excited, but whenever she sees the wall, she sees that there's still metal rebar there. But Deku just walks over and he actually grabs it. He's thinking that, wow, this feels really brittle. I could probably just, as he actually just pulls it out. Really surprised. Now, please hang on a minute, guys. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, guys. Now then, while Deku and Jiro are essentially working on this, Bakugo is actually working on his new type of explosions. He finds that whenever he actually does this, it feels a bit weird. In fact, not only does his body feel like it's essentially going to blow up or detonate, he finds that this is essentially him becoming one with his quirk. Or if not him actually evolving his quirk. And or forcing it to go a step further. Bakugo's thinking, and he just comes to the conclusion that if he were to, one day he might actually be able to master this and actually make it his default mode. Now, while this thought is going through his head, Todoroki actually snaps him out of it by saying that he thought they were going to continue, as he actually starts blasting ice towards Bakugo. And Bakugo would immediately just counter and actually start fighting. Now, this would go on for about however long it does in the manga and anime up until the day they go off for patrol. Deku and Bakugo are there, and at this point Jiro is able to use her voice somewhat. It's just that she can't really say a lot. Now, she actually does ask Deku, because she's actually next to him, and Bakugo's with him. She actually asks Deku, essentially, if he knows what's going on with Ida. Deku would just say no, but he noticed that in class he was acting kinda strange. I mean, I guess so, but it's kinda just stupid. Okay, Bakugo, well, think about it though. Usually he's all, everybody, we need to do this, or we need to do that. And he just kinda was quiet. Oh, I actually see your point now. So wait, I think, hang on. Jiro actually pulls out her phone, pausing her playlist, and actually starts scrolling through the news. She says that Ingenium was actually attacked, so this actually makes sense. In fact, hang on. Oh no. What is it? He was attacked in this city. Wait, isn't Ida in the... Oh god, damn it, Ida. As this is going on, they immediately hear a loud scream. Deku's immediately thinking, okay, well, he's pretty sure he knows who that was, as he immediately taps the back of his legs, actually just jumping up into the air and actually firing off the explosives. As soon as he does that, Bakugo actually comes along with him, as Deku actually controls himself with his hands, flying through the air. Endeavor would see this, and he's telling Shota to actually go with them, if not to follow them. He'll be there in a minute, as Endeavor immediately gets tackled by Nomu. Todoroki just gets out his phone and immediately begins recording. Now, while that's happening, Deku and Bakugo, they actually run into the hero killer. Deku immediately comes in, and whenever he is going to attack, he actually comes in with a dropkick. He immediately kicks into the hero killer's side, setting off the explosions he planted on his legs, throwing the hero killer backwards into a wall, actually making him lose a couple of his knives. Now, when that happened, he's telling Ida that he's a dumbass. Why are you here? Why are you? I asked you first. I asked you second. Okay, you two. As Bakugo comes flying in, landing. You need to shut up and just get back up, Ida. I can't. Don't be a pussy. No, I literally can't get up. I think it's his quirk. Oh, god damn it. This shit now. As Jiro would actually come in, she's thinking, okay, so he can't get up. Something about a quirk. What is going on? Okay, just keep calm. And try to think of the frequency. Okay. As she immediately plugs into herself. She immediately gets ready for him to attack. Staying as to who these kids are and why they're even here, Deku just says they're here to stop this dumbass from doing anything else. So, you just need to walk away. If not, turn himself in. Stan would say no, but he does essentially respect them because they are actual heroes. But they are missing one thing. You're here to protect that guy, but you forgot about him. As he points out that Native is there with a wound in his gut. Deku just turns his head, sees this, and he turns back. As he's seen Stain has now thrown knives. Jiro immediately just pushes in front of Deku and actually brings out her hand, blasting sound of the knives. Not only does it start making them fly away, but it actually chips them further, essentially destroying pieces of them, making them more brittle. Now, Stain actually goes to pick up his knives, and he's actually running in now. As soon as he does so, he immediately just begins by trying to attack Deku, since he essentially came in with the most damage. Now, as soon as that happens, Stan would actually see that Deku is actually quite fast. In fact, he might even be rivaling his own speed. As Deku is bursting through and actually doing what Bakugo does. Now, while that's happening, Bakugo is trying to get a good aim on it, and he's actually thinking, okay, come on. Deku, now! As Deku immediately just brings up his left hand, pulling his gauntlet, essentially moving backwards. He brings his leg up, blows an explosion, and immediately just goes flying away as he fires an explosive directly into Stain's face. If not, 5 feet away from him. Stain immediately goes to jump out of the way, but he sees Baku's explosion already on his way. So he just throws out his sword in front of him, and immediately just goes to brace himself. As this happens, Todoroki would arrive, seeing that Stain just fought through their explosion. As Ida is now finally able to move somewhat, Deku just says that Ida needs to use his reciprocal burst. Now, as he's saying that, Jiro would actually go on to try and blast the hero killer. She's essentially moving her hands around and actually charging up her sound. She's thinking if she can do this in one swift motion, she might be able to stagger him. She's telling Deku to essentially hang on a minute. Deku looks down to see her actually moving her hand a certain way, as she immediately brings it up and actually throws the blast. Now this actually somewhat hurts her arm, but it essentially knocks the hero killer off of his feet, putting out a lot of fire in the alley, as this sound is basically the equivalent to just the explosion. If not, it's at least got the shockwave force behind it. Now, as this is going on, as soon as that happened, Bakugo immediately starts firing off his AP shots. Now, as soon as Deku sees that, he's thinking, okay, that's new, but anyways, as he brings up his gauntlet, actually pulling one of his smaller pins, as out of his wrist shoots basically a line of fire. Bakugo's thinking that that's copying him, but he sees that Deku's only using one hand. So he's realizing that Deku actually somewhat has a more planned out gauntlet set. Okay, questions for later. Anyways, as Bakugo actually opens up his hand, he actually closes both his hands in a fist, pointing out his finger, actually firing off an actual stream of fire. Basically, it's a bigger, stronger beam than his AP shots, and he can hold it continuously for about 30 to 40 seconds. As he's firing this off, he is actually really happy about this, as he's swinging around, actually able to hit the hero killer. He realizes he's destroying a lot of the alley, as he stops, and they are finally able to somewhat stagger the hero killer. Stain at this point can't hear, he's got some burn marks, he's got some bruises, he's pretty sure he has a few cracked ribs. As he's thinking this, Deku immediately comes in behind him, smashing him in the back of the neck, sending him flying as Jiro and Bakugo immediately rush in, and Ida actually comes up to the side. Ida kicks him in the ribs as Jiro and Bakugo immediately just punch him in the face. Now, as soon as that happens, Deku immediately just starts thinking that it's a good thing that they somewhat work together. Now, they essentially need to, as Stain immediately just thinks he needs to get out of here, so he just needs to use his sword. He would immediately go to slash at Deku. As soon as he brings up his sword, and it makes contact with Deku's gauntlets, it immediately snaps in half, flying over Deku's shoulder, and actually going into the wall. Deku's thinking, okay, I don't know how strong these things are, but it's good to know. Ah, damn it. Great. Now I need to get this thing fixed again. God. Okay, let's get out of here, guys. We got the hero killer. Now then. While they are walking out of the alley, this is whenever a Nomu, actually comes in, grabbing at Bakugo. As soon as Deku sees this, he just thinks, okay, dude, get loose, or go limp. As Deku immediately comes firing after it, Jiro actually starts charging up her sound waves in her feet, actually launching off. As soon as that happens, Bakugo is actually trying to blow up the Nomu, but each time he just fires off at its feet, he just keeps regenerating, which is pretty nasty considering he's now covered in a lot of blood. So while he is actually just firing off the explosions, he's saying that just throw your gauntlet, nerd. Deku immediately thinks, okay, so my right gauntlet's damaged. Okay, I got it. As Deku, as soon as he fires off a large burst, he's thinking that he has 10 seconds before he starts losing momentum. So he immediately starts fiddling with the gauntlet, and he gets one of the straps loose. He immediately fires off another large explosion, actually feeling the strain it's putting on his body. His nose will begin running as he's thinking, okay, no time. He gets the other strap loose and immediately just fires as much as he can towards Bakugo's direction. He actually gets close enough to Bakugo to throw the gauntlet at him. Bakugo just immediately throws another explosion, and he just stuffs the gauntlet into the Nomu, actually firing off an explosion into his chest where he put the gauntlet, and the Nomu completely explodes, blowing off the leg. So Bakugo is actually able to just fight with one of its legs to actually get free. As he's falling, Deku just tells the dumbass to use his explosions. If not, pull the pin on his gauntlet. This is whenever Bakugo just thinks, well, okay, where's the pin? Where's the pin? He's falling and he's having a lot of trouble as he immediately just gets catched by Endeavor. Endeavor actually ran to the side of the wall and he actually caught Bakugo, landing on the ground, actually just dropping him. Bakugo would just say, for the number 2 hero, you're not bad, but you're probably going to be better than All Might one day. What do you mean one day, kid? He might retire soon. I'm not sure. What do you mean soon? I don't know. He's been going for nearly 20 years. He has to retire someday. Besides, you are a workaholic. Alright, well, you know what, kid? I'll take it. As Endeavor immediately just walks away. They would go to the authorities, and they would be shocked to learn that these 4 actually took down the hero killer, but that Ida, he actually got quite a bit of injuries because he wanted revenge, like a dumbass. Now, that is where I'm going to be leaving this part off, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day.